Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the night sky, deep and silent, resting above you like a veil of infinite possibilities. Up above, each star seems to hold an unspoken answer, and down here, within you, a still unformed question pulses gently. Is there something more, something I'm not yet seeing? Perhaps you're lying down, seeking sleep, but sleep won't come. Or perhaps your body is exhausted, but your mind still wanders, replaying scenes from the day, worries, frustrations. Sometimes all we want is rest, not just for the body, but for the soul. Have you ever felt that even when you're tired, something inside you still pulses, restless, incomplete, waiting? As if there's a dissonant note playing in the background, even when the world around you seems calm? This is the silent symphony of consciousness. It's the call of your vibration trying to align with something greater, truer, more yours. And maybe, just maybe, night is the most sacred time to hear this call, because night doesn't lie. Darkness doesn't distract. It's when the masks fall, and all that's left is you, with your thoughts, your feelings, and that subtle space between what you are and what you're still becoming. Most people believe that day is the time for action, and night is only for sleep. But the oldest spiritual traditions, from Himalayan yogis to Sufi mystics, from Zen monks to scholars of modern quantum physics, all converge on the same point. Night is when the soul speaks most, and the moment before falling asleep is when the mind, between the conscious and the unconscious, opens like a bridge, a crack through which we can plant new realities. Science today confirms what the ancients already knew. Dr. Joe Dispenza, for example, teaches us that the minutes before sleep are like fertile ground for neuroplasticity. This is when the brain is in a state of alpha and theta waves and can accept profound commands like vibrational seeds. Bruce Lipton adds, in this state, the subconscious mind responsible for 95% of our lives is open to reprogramming. In other words, you can intentionally vibrate at a higher frequency, and with that, alter your electromagnetic field, heal emotions, and align yourself with higher realities. But this isn't done with effort. It's not about trying to force happiness or repeat empty phrases. It's a delicate, subtle mental exercise, almost like a dance between your intention and your surrender. And that's exactly what I want to lead you through now. It's not a trick. It's not a fad method. It's a simple yet profound practice so that you can, every night before bed, converse with the intelligence that created you, not with words, but with vibration, and allow this vibration to take root within you silently while you sleep, because deep down you're not broken. You're transforming, because the pain you feel today, perhaps, is just trying to heal you from within. What if, just if this mental exercise before bed becomes your sacred ritual of reconnection? What if this practice can teach you to vibrate so high that your own reality must adjust to your new frequency? That's what we're going to talk about. Now that you're here, take a deep breath, drop your shoulders, feel your heartbeat, and allow yourself to cross this bridge with me. Let's begin. Imagine for a moment that your body isn't just matter, but an energetic field, a receiver and transmitter of frequencies, and that your mind, like a subtle radio station, is constantly tuning into realities, not just observing the world around you, but co-creating it in real time based on your internal vibration. This idea may seem abstract, but it's actually one of the most well-founded bridges between spirituality and science. Dr. Bruce Lipton reminds us that the subconscious mind operates like a silent recorder, recording beliefs, traumas, and emotional patterns from the earliest years of life. At night, especially in the minutes before deep sleep, this recorder goes into listening mode. It's in this state called hypnagogic that you find yourself between two worlds, waking and dreaming. It's when your mind is most receptive to new programming. But why does this matter? Because what you feel and think in that moment becomes a frequency, and this frequency spreads like waves through the quantum field that surrounds you, a field that is not just around you, but within you in every cell, in every synapse, and every heartbeat. David Bohm, a physicist who worked with Einstein, said that everything in the universe is interconnected by an implicate order, a kind of invisible intelligence that responds to the subtle vibrations of consciousness. Therefore, when you fall asleep with fear, anxiety, or guilt, your body records these frequencies as commands, as if telling the universe, "This is what I believe to be real." But when you fall asleep in a state of gratitude, presence, and openness, you are saying, "This is what I choose to experience." The universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your state, and this state is shaped by your dominant emotions at the time of sleep. You may never have realized this before, but think about the nights you went to sleep peacefully. The next morning, the world seemed lighter. Decisions flowed. The encounters were gentler. It wasn't magic. It was vibrational coherence. Greg Braden talks about this coherence as the alignment between the brain and the heart, when what you think, feel, and desire are in harmony. This alignment creates a powerful magnetic field capable of affecting even your DNA, according to studies by the HeartMath Institute. But the most interesting thing is that there's no need to force this state. In fact, it's the opposite. The highest vibration comes from surrender, from consciously surrendering to the present moment. And that's what the night offers us, an invitation to let go, a chance to silence the noise and allow the soul to speak. Most people fall asleep carrying the weight of the day, the conflicts, the fears, the failures. But what would happen if you treated these last minutes before sleep as a ritual of energetic recalibration, not as a technique to solve everything, but as an act of love for yourself, as if to say, I honor myself for having lived another day. I release what weighs me down, and I open myself to the mystery that sustains me. Florence Scovel Shinn said that the subconscious accepts anything impressed upon it with emotion and repetition. This means that even if your rational mind still doubts, your emotion, when genuine, can plant seeds of transformation. Now, think of your bedroom as a temple, your bed an altar, and your breath the sacred chant that leads you to the invisible realm where all possibilities already exist. It is there, in this space between sleep and dream, that you can release the bonds of limited identity. It is there that the ego falls asleep and the true self begins to speak. And when you learn to listen, when you allow yourself to enter this state with reverence, you begin to realize that you are not alone. There is an intelligence all around you, loving, patient, silent, waiting for you to be open enough to receive it. And she communicates not with words, but with vibration. The mental exercise you'll learn today will be simple, but it won't just be a practice. It will be a reconnection, because ultimately, vibrating high isn't about toxic positivity. It's about presence. It's about choosing night after night to take a deep breath and say, I trust, I surrender, I am guided. What if everything you seek, love, peace, healing, meaning, is just waiting for the moment you let go of control and allow the night to take care of you? That's the seed we're going to plant. Now that you understand the power of the nocturnal vibrational state, imagine that your mind at nightfall transforms into a silent garden, a fertile field where every thought, every emotion, every intention becomes a seed. But in this garden, you don't plant with your hands. lands. You plant with your vibration, and it is precisely at this subtle point between the visible and the invisible world that the exercise I'm going to teach you now is born. It requires no effort. It doesn't require elaborate visualizations or frantic repetitions of phrases. It requires only one thing: compassionate presence, because the true vibrational leap doesn't happen when you force change. It happens when you become a space for change to flourish. And this space begins with a silent gesture, accepting what is and planting what can be. Step 1. Silence is soil. Before going to sleep, lie down comfortably and turn off the external lights, but especially the internal ones. Close your eyes. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your stomach. Take 3 deep breaths. Feel the air entering like a cosmic breeze, touching every corner of your being. In this moment, don't fight your thoughts. Don't try to control them. Just observe. Let them pass by like clouds. You are not them. You are the sky through which they pass. This moment of silence is the vibrational ground. It is when you stop reacting and begin to listen. As Muji said, nothing real can be threatened, and silence is the soil where the real flourishes. Step 2. The presence of what hurts. Perhaps at this moment, memories will come, words that hurt, decisions that hurt, fears that still vibrate. Don't push them away. Invite them into the center of your consciousness, as if to say, I see you, I hear you, you can stay, but you don't need to guide me anymore. This is the moment of transmutation. Carl Jung said that what we do not face in our unconscious repeats itself as destiny. But here, in this moment of stillness before sleep, you have the chance to change this cycle. Not by repressing what you feel, but by illuminating what previously lived in the shadows. By embracing what hurts, you dissolve fear, and by dissolving fear, you prepare the field to vibrate higher. Step 3. The vibration of gratitude, the fertilizer of the new reality. Now, bring to your mind something simple, something small, but that awakens gratitude within you. It could be the warmth of the bed, the sound of breathing, the look of someone who loves you, or the simple fact of being alive. Feel gratitude like a subtle perfume spreading within. Don't think about it, feel it. Bruce Lipton explains that the emotion of gratitude generates a release of dopamine and oxytocin hormones that regulate well-being and reinforce neuroplasticity. In other words, you are literally shaping your brain with this emotion. Repeat mentally, with your heart engaged, gratitude for this moment, gratitude for all that I have been, gratitude for all that I can be. In this state, you have already begun to vibrate high. Step 4. The vibrational command sowing the new reality. Now that your frequency has been raised by presence and gratitude, you can plant your new reality. Don't say, I want ... double quote. Say, I am. Close your eyes and say mentally, I am peace, I am healing, I am openness to the new, I am guided by a loving intelligence. Repeat slowly, with your heart engaged, as if these words were being whispered by your soul itself. Neville Goddard said that feeling is the secret. In other words, it's not what you say, it's what you vibrate while saying it. You can choose one phrase each night, or you can simply be silent and let an intention arise spontaneously. The important thing is not the form, it's the vibrational presence with which you do it. Step 5. Surrender trust the invisible now. Let go of everything. Let go of even the desire for it to work. Like the gardener who, after planting the seed, covers it with soil and goes to sleep. You too must trust. Don't wait for immediate signs. Don't look for external miracles, because the true miracle is already happening. Your frequency has changed, and the universe, which responds to vibration and not effort, has already begun to adjust the invisible threads of your reality. Sleep with this trust. Sleep as if you know you're being guided, like someone who has reconnected with their inner core. Ultimately, the exercise is a reminder that you are not your past, not your pain, not your momentary limitation. You are the observer. You are the field. You are the space where everything can transform. And if you do this night after night, your vibration will become a silent magnet, attracting people, experiences, and healings that resonate with your new field. What if the reality you so desperately desire is already reaching for you, but can only touch those who vibrate at the same frequency? So now that you've planted, take a deep breath, embrace the silence, and let the night take care of the rest. Imagine there's an invisible field around you. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but it responds to everything you vibrate. It's as if every emotion, every silent thought before sleep were a drop falling into a calm lake. And these drops create waves that travel beyond time and space, touching possibilities that don't even exist yet, but that await you. Quantum physics, especially in the visions of Niels Bohr and Max Planck, shows us that the universe is not made of things, but of vibrations. Planck, considered the father of quantum theory, declared all matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force, and that force is consciousness. In other words, the universe is not something out there, happening randomly. It is a field of vibrational consciousness that shapes itself according to the quality of what you emit, especially at times when your mind is most connected to the source, at night. This is why mystics, since ancient times, have revered the moment of sleep. For the Egyptians, sleep was the gateway to the world of the gods. For the Hindus, it was union with the Supreme Self. For modern neuroscientists, it is the point where the brain enters cerebral states that allow connection with deeper layers of consciousness, the so-called theta and delta waves, which access the unconscious and the quantum field. But what does this mean for you? It means that by sleeping with a high vibration of gratitude, surrender, peace, you issue silent commands to this intelligent field, and this field responds. The universe is responsive, not reactive. It responds not to those who shout the loudest, but to those who vibrate most truthfully. Neville Goddard said that you don't attract what you desire, you attract what you are. In other words, it's not enough to want love, peace, and healing. You must vibrate as if these realities were already true now, even if they haven't yet manifested. And that's when the nighttime becomes spiritual gold. When you practice the mental exercise before bed, that state of acceptance, gratitude, and conscious intention, you align with this invisible intelligence. You become part of the flow instead of fighting it. Tom Campbell, physicist and explorer of consciousness, explains that the reality we live in is like a simulation, where consciousness is the player and the universe is the field. When your consciousness vibrates coherently, elevated, aligned with love and surrender, the field responds by optimizing your trajectory. Coincidences begin to happen, doors open, spontaneous healings emerge, relationships change. But all this not because you forced reality, but because you aligned with its highest version, night as an access code. Have you ever noticed how everything is quieter at night, not just outside, but inside? This silence is not empty. It's the access code. It's when the ego falls asleep and the soul awakens. It's when the noises cease and inner wisdom speaks. It's in this silence that the universe hears most clearly. And that's why your vibration at this moment is so crucial. You can spend the whole day fighting, controlling, chasing ... But if you fall asleep in a state of surrender and trust, something changes. It's as if you're saying to the universe, I've done my part. Now, take care of me. And the universe silently begins to rearrange its pieces. The intelligence of the invisible kicks in. But be careful. The universe doesn't understand rushing. It doesn't work with anxiety. It doesn't obey the linear time of the human mind. It follows the flow of vibrational truth. That's why sometimes results don't appear the next day, but they do appear when you shift the dominant frequency of your life. And this only happens with consistency. When you make this mental exercise a ritual, when night after night you surrender to silent gratitude in the state of already is, something inside you begins to change. Your biology changes, your electromagnetic field changes, your surroundings change, and not because the world has changed, but because you have changed what the world reflects. You become a point of light in the field. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it destiny." But in this moment, you are already becoming conscious. You are already accessing that point where the soul speaks and the universe listens. And what is destiny, if not the reflection of what we vibrate night after night? So trust, not in the superficial sense, but trust as someone who plants, waters, and respects the harvest time. The intelligence of the invisible is alive. It listens to you. She watches you with loving, patient eyes. She doesn't want you to suffer. She wants you to wake up. And maybe, just maybe, tonight as you fall asleep with your heart at peace and your soul in gratitude, you are opening the door to a reality that already exists, but can only be accessed by those who vibrate at the same frequency. What if this reality is closer than you think? What if all you need to do is trust a little more in what vibrates and a little less in what is missing? Close your eyes and imagine that at this very moment, the universe is breathing with you. Breathe in. Feel the energy entering not just air, but life. Breathe out. Let go of the layers that are no longer yours. Let go of guilt, fear, control. Let go of the rush, because here, now, you have arrived, not to a physical place, but to a state, the state of recognizing that you don't need to chase your own healing, but rather allow it to reach you when your body rests and your heart opens. You have traveled a profound journey to this point. You have looked within. You have embraced what hurts. You have silenced the noise and learned to vibrate not with effort, but with intention. Perhaps for the first time in a long time, you have felt that there is indeed a place within you where all is well, a silent center, a point of light, and perhaps this point is what many call the soul, or essence, or divine presence. It doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is that you recognize it. This is real, and it's available every night, whenever you want to come home, because the truth is simple. You've never been disconnected. The pain, the fear, the doubt, they're just temporary veils, but behind them has always been the same invisible field, the same silent love, the same wisdom that guides the cycles of the universe and also the cycles of your life. Today you learn that the moment of sleep is much more than a biological habit. It's a sacred ritual. It's the moment where the body falls asleep. But the soul awakens, where the ego releases its control and consciousness opens to the miracle. And if you make this a practice, a daily surrender, a reverence to the night and to the mystery, you won't just sleep better, you'll wake up different, lighter, more aligned, more connected. And slowly, almost without realizing it, your reality will begin to reflect this new vibration, not because you've learned a miracle technique, but because you've returned to speaking to the universe in the language it understands, the vibration of your heart. You can continue doing this exercise every night, not as a duty, but as a reconnection, as a gesture of love for yourself, as a silent reminder that you are part of something greater, and that something greater lives within you. And whenever you forget, return to this moment. Close your eyes, Breathe, embrace, give thanks, intend, let go. This is the cycle. This is the frequency. This is the silent prayer of those who vibrate high. And I leave you with one last question. What if everything you're seeking, peace, love, direction, healing, is just waiting for you to slow down? Be silent and allow yourself to sleep peacefully, trusting that the universe hears you even in the most subtle of sighs. Good night, and may your soul vibrate so high that even your dreams become portals to what you came here to experience.